So how's everyone's day going? I've been absent for a while. Hopefully this overwhelmingly drowsiness from the Johnson Johnson continues to slowly go away. It finally is a difference today, so I put out a review. Now, that's just a little bit of an update, but here's my review for today. This review is for, and this is a very long title, unfortunately, 13 Things You Didn't Know About Bigfoot. And this was, the full release was released last Tuesday. But this was shown originally in 2019 at the Austin Film Festival. So I don't really know about different film festivals or even that much stuff. I'm a more of a big moviegoer watcher, so I do a little bit of research ahead of time. But this is apparently a guy. His name is Zach Lampfoof. He's a director of this. This is his debut. It is a comedy horror, and I would say it's more of a bland horror or comedy with a little bit of horror parts in there, but not much. The plot of it is, though, is a young journalist is sent into a Bigfoot convention in Georgia to cover a story, and ends up joining a weird Bigfoot tour guide, and ends up over his head. So a little bit about this movie is it's in the late 90s, and if you're not old enough to remember this to grow up, but in the late 90s through the early 2000s, there was a horror movie trend of found footage and POV camera shooting movies. This one is particularly a parody of it, and it makes fun of today's generation, such as specifically around blogging. It makes fun of just all different ages of the stereotypes of rednecks, and just YouTubers, and also something that just stand out is they do make fun of rappers and their names.
On Canada, baby, on dirty dollar signs, that's tasty, motherfucking delightful. Suck my bitch on land. What up? It's your boy Dirty Dollar Signs, and I got the whole crew with me. We got MC Slip Slap, Raw Dog Nintendo, and of course, White Morpheus. And we got ourselves a special guest. It's Compound's Brian Eman. Hey.
But honestly, in my opinion, it was more of percentage of this was more making fun of Bigfoot hunters, if anything. With the other stuff that's thrown in there. Because the main stories around this is Bigfoot, obviously. The first 28 minutes was not funny, but very bland, and wondering when it was getting more exciting, like it was in the last couple minutes in the trailer. Then it changed pace from a very dry comedy to I guess you'd say, a horror movie, but then that stopped after this one spot. They definitely drawed out the tent scene quite a bit, which reminded me of the tent scene at night of the 90s Blair Witch Project. But that was really about it. It was more of a dry comedy throughout this. Yeah, again, it was a very drawn-out scene. I wish it wasn't so drawn out, but then again, this movie was pretty dry. Like, if you drink, like, how dry is it? Like, pretty... Let's say you drink a whole bunch of water, or drink a cup of water, and most of it is filled with salt. That's how freaking dry this thing was. The comedy was. The story was not bad, but it was still kind of... it was okay. I really liked Jeff more than the story, as the story went on. He looked and acted like Seth Rogen, and he really does. I actually was trying to look him up for a good 20 minutes of trying to figure out what else he's been in. Apparently he's not been in anything else, at least I could tell from Google. But, you know, Google is tendently kind of a jackass of all trades when it comes to information and if that information is accurate or not. So at least from every time I look up something, but like Jeff Rogan, he's kind of like that dirty, kind of bearded, overweight, kind of smoking weed, kind of dumbed down type of guy that's a likable character that has a very interesting story, like from being misunderstood to being called a stupid person to, you know, having a thing between him and the person that is giving him crap that's more of a serious role. And that's pretty much what that was in here. I didn't like Brian. His character was pretty bland and not funny. There was really nothing to his acting, in my opinion. This has high-up camera HD quality to it. Story, though, was slow and bland, like I said, and Brian's acting was taken away from the feeling of the story, which there wasn't much in general. So, this movie was okay. Anything special. Again, in my opinion, and I wasn't expecting much anyways going into this. I thought, you know, it's something to watch. Maybe it's one of those things that looks bad but actually turns out good, because it is an indie film. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much else to say other than that. It was just a kind of a very dry comedy story to it. The story was okay. The acting was not great. The guy that looks like Seth Rogen, he was actually the one that stood out the most, even though it's still, his acting was okay, but he was better than the others. His character, at least. But yeah, here is my rating for this. Yeah, there's, again, pretty bland, pretty salty. Well, actually, not salty. I mean, dry. But you know, so you know, I try not to badmouth this movie because I did enjoy it somewhat. And I know that this is his first director debut, and him and I know that the guy that plays Brian wrote it. So you know, it's like it's your first project film from far as I could tell, so you know it's not going to necessarily be the best, but I think they can do better, and I think I see some potential in the directing of the guy that looks like Seth Rogen. Definitely, it's the thing is, it keeps bothering me is I swear I saw him in a movie before, but it just could be that he looks like Seth Rogen so much and acts like him. But anyways, anything else I forgot? Nope. Please, if you have not already, please subscribe. Please hit that like button. It helps out a lot. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. Do you think Bigfoot is real? I have no opinion on it, and I really don't want to get in the middle of it, but I want to hear your opinion for some random reason. But yeah, I love you all, and Skol.